Hi, friends. Jen here, as you probably know because you're on my Facebook. Anyway, I was watching you know how Facebook shows you things from years past, and exactly a year ago, I made a video about heading out to Puerto Rico, which was incredible. It feels like it was longer than a year ago. But anyway, the video was about how I am proactive about my health while I'm traveling. And one of the things that I shared was that I take these Juice Plus pills. Oh, there we go. And one of the things that they say about them is you fill in the gaps with caps, and I like rhymes. So anyway, I wanted to let you guys know about that and just like get you thinking a bit more proactively about your health. I am not skilled in all areas of my life, but one of the areas that I've definitely been working on and strengthening is being proactive about your health. And I think before I started this, just like what could I say? And I thought it's almost like strengthening your muscles and at the same time strengthening your mind. Even if going for a 10-minute walk seems exhausting to you, at the time that you tell your body what to do, you just go ahead and you go do it. And so it's like you're strengthening your muscles at the same time that you're strengthening your mind. And I think we know everything starts in the mind. So, that's really something that I think is important to think about. And with these in particular, I try to eat really well. When you think about the things that we are supposed to be, just about food being fuel for our body, and thinking about what we eat, how we eat, all the crazy things that we're learning about our food and what's in it. And you may be hearing the word toxic a lot. I know that I am, and I think even my friends tease me about saying, this is toxic or that's toxic. But really, when you think about how our body responds to certain things, we are poisoning ourselves. So I'm not trying to get way out there. I mean, I still eat bread. I still eat, because for me, it's all about balance. As soon as I tell myself I can't have something, then the wheels come off. There was a time where I lost like a pretty significant amount of weight, but it wasn't really fast, and it was by adding in exercise before I tried to take things away. So that's what I also think is really cool about these is you're adding it. It's a little chilly out here. They're just these little capsules. But what I think is so neat is that when you look at what they are, it's real stuff. It's real food. I mean, gosh, there's so much health information out there. You could just be overwhelmed. I mean, I read the health blogs and, it's like, okay, now eat kale. Oh, don't eat too much kale. I mean, it's just like crazy stuff. So I think we all have to make some common sense decisions for what works for you, what makes sense to you. And what makes sense to me is eat fruits and vegetables, right? Like that makes sense to me. Maybe some of you have heard of the Daniel plan, the Bible story where, they decided not to eat any meat or, any bread or whatever. And, they were like fit and trim and all this other stuff. So there is a conditioning going on. But even if I think I didn't cheat as much as I do, I still don't think that I'm getting all the nutrients that I need. So again, that's what I think is really cool about these. It's a direct mail, so they get sent straight to you. But it just made sense. I'm sure there's other good things out there, but it was just like, oh, this has broccoli and parsley and tomatoes and carrots. I know what those things are, and I guess they've been dehydrated and concentrated. You could read all about it if you wanted to. But I also brought this. I know I'm always talking about that, and I feel like it's gotten pretty hot and popular. But I just find that I feel good. So I feel like you have to find what feels obviously good for you. And some people have said maybe they didn't have a good reaction, but that's for all the people that I feel like I've suggested they give it a go. It's done really miraculous things. What I find the most from the apple cider vinegar is that it just seems to help me digest. And so, so I'm drinking it like 3 times a day, but I mean, not a ton, usually I make like a drink of it with maybe, I don't know, 2 tablespoons of ACV. I don't really measure it. Some lemon juice, some cayenne, maybe, and then just kind of sip on that throughout the day. But obviously you could make three drinks, but it's just helping you digest. I mean, if you really want to go into and all the research, I mean, there's a ton out there, but yeah, I mean, really so much of our sickness is coming from the fact that we're not able to digest our food. I'm reading a book about fasting right now, and that does not sound fun, but it seems like it is just this really incredible thing. Obviously, it also has biblical principles and foundation, but I was joking with some of my friends about it, and we're like, wow, that's a way to turn people off, right? Tell them to fast. And there's so many different things that we can fast from, but using that time every time we think that we're hungry to, redirect, and almost like we're like a human alarm clock. So anyway, I'm kind of digressing, but I guess just all that to say, I went to lunch today and I got a meatless meal. And I thought a couple of years ago that wouldn't have been me. Like, the meal wasn't complete without meat. And I love meat still. But now that I've read some stuff, I want it to be good meat. I want it to be good meat. So I think that's what's really neat. You can actually start to kind of train your brain. I've just found that for me, I can train my brain to like things that are good for me and dislike things that are bad for me. Krispy Kreme, I haven't really cracked the code on that one. I think that one might just always be my guilty pleasure. Oh, they're so good. But in very small doses. But just thinking about that. So really just thinking about being proactive about your health. So again, whether it's something like this, I've been taking them. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I felt good when I started taking them. It's a year later, I still feel good. I mean, it hasn't, I can't do some radical thing that I couldn't do before, but I feel good. And my body's the only place I have to live, and once you get started on that feeling good, man, it's addictive. It really feels like, can I feel better? So, I mean, I still have some aches and, pains in my body. And I feel like the next frontier is, really cutting out sugar. I don't have a lot of sugar, but I still like my sugar. So it's always a process, and I don't think like pushing yourself too hard is really the answer because again, like I think it works well to kind of strengthen your brain muscle, strengthen your discipline at the same time that you're strengthening your body. And again, for me, it's easier to add stuff. So add exercise, add some sort of supplement, add some apple cider vinegar, add stuff, and see if, for me, when I start feeling better, it just naturally makes me want to make better decisions. So with that, I am starting to get really cold, so I'm going to go inside. I hope you guys have a great day, and yeah, let me know if you have any proactive health tips in the comments below. I'll see you later. Bye.